together fast.
Well, we still call them the Amazings, don't we? That was Devin Gordon, author of So Many Ways to Lose. Yes, the amazing true story of the New York Mets, the best worst team in sports. Devin, thank you for waking up early with us.
Thanks for having me.
Support for WNYC comes from Shepherd, a global law firm with over 1,200 lawyers advising on business disputes, transactions, financings, and regulatory issues while building relationships based on trust and collaboration. Online at shepherd.com.
The haves and the have-nots of energy.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Odoo.com, offering integrated programs for sales, customer relationship management, inventory, and other business operations, designed to work together as a customizable software suite. Odoo, all your business on one platform.
From Marketplace, I'm Sabri Ben-Achour. Almost 2,500 years ago, Thucydides, the historian and general from ancient Greece, famously wrote, "The strong do what they can, and the weak suffer what they must." The quote is often used to refer to the grim reality in international affairs that when push comes to shove, the vulnerable suffer at the hands of the powerful. And as it was in the Peloponnesian War millennia ago, it is true today in oil markets. The Iran war's chokehold on oil and gas supplies is laying bare the haves and the have-nots in the global economy. Marketplace's Samantha Fields has more.
Maybe it's hoarding or protectionist or human nature. Whatever you want to call it, some countries have plenty of oil right now, while others don't.
The disruption of oil and natural gas flows through the Strait of Hormuz is the biggest energy disruption the world has ever seen.
Mark Finley at Rice University says with any global shortage like this,
richer countries are the ones who can afford the bidding war, and poorer countries drop out and ration supplies.
That's what we're seeing right now. Matt Smith at data analytics firm Kepler says countries that have their own refineries and reserves and that can afford to pay, like the U.S., China, Japan, and South Korea, are facing high oil and gas prices, but not shortages.
You're seeing protectionist measures being implemented by certain countries. They're dialing back on their exports, so keeping them back for their domestic market instead.
Which means less wealthy countries that rely on exports aren't able to get what they need.
Pakistan or India, Thailand, Taiwan, Vietnam, the Philippines, they are implementing ways to dial back on consumption because they are running out of fuel.
Like canceling flights, telling people to work from home, and rationing gas and electricity. I'm Samantha Fields for Marketplace.
All right, let's do the numbers. Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ futures are all down in the 5 to 0.7% range, with Dow futures down 360 points. The yield on the 10-year Treasury is 4.33%, and the price of a barrel of Brent crude is back up above $100 a barrel. It's $103 right now. Tesla's profits rose in the first quarter, up 17% from a year ago. Its car sales bounced back after falling in 2025. CEO Elon Musk says the EV maker's future is in self-driving cabs, and the company says it's begun production of what it calls cybercabs, robo-taxis without wheels or pedals. Musk also said Tesla's coming out with a non-self-driving, human-operated second-generation roadster. Tesla stock is down 3.4% in pre-market trading.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Mercury, business banking and financial software to help entrepreneurs send money, create invoices, pay bills, and more. Mercury is not a bank. Learn more at Mercury.com. Mercury, radically different banking. And by Wealth Enhancement, offering a wealth blueprint for individuals reviewing an existing financial plan. Advisors identify planning gaps and insights as part of comprehensive financial planning. More at wealthenhancement.com/blueprint.
The unemployment rate among young people, many of whom are about to graduate, has been elevated for many months. There are concerns about how much artificial intelligence is going to eat away at entry-level jobs. There's uncertainty about the future of entire industries. There's a cool labor market in general. And yet, in the middle of all of this, some hope for figuring it out. New York Times investigative reporter and best-selling author Jodi Kantor is out with a new book, How to Start, with some guidance on just that. And she joins us now for more. Jody, welcome.
It's great to be with you.
What is a piece of advice that well-meaning adults give to young people that you think is total BS?
The single worst piece of advice right now is that everything is doomed. That's not true. I mean, we have to be intelligent about observing the economic data, but a person is not a statistic. Just because you read a story in the newspaper saying what the hiring picture is, that is not casting your fate in stone. You do have some agency in this process. And also, the kind of disruption we're experiencing right now always creates giant opportunities.
Central to your advice are what you refer to as craft and need. Can you explain that?
Craft is the special skill you have that other people do not. These are things that take time to learn, but your craft is yours to keep. It means that you are not interchangeable, you are not disposable. Craft, however, becomes much more powerful when you pair it with need. Need is propulsion. Need is some greater cause, some gap in the market that you are going to fill.
If you're just starting out, how do you identify what your craft is? And also, how do you identify what the world needs? Because, at one point people were saying, oh, the world needs more software engineers, and AI is hacking away at those jobs. So I don't know. How do you identify those things?
It's a process. It involves struggle. I mean, this is just a time of struggle. For young people, starting has always been hard. This era is making it harder. But what I want young people to have is a great struggle, because there's a big difference between a struggle that's just about feeling depressed and watching Netflix versus a journey of excitement, discovery, mistakes, originality, insight, learning, et cetera, et cetera.
Students we've spoken to on the show have described the economy as confusing, something that they try not to think about. You make an argument about not focusing too much on the initial amount you make fresh out of college. Why is that?
A first job is for two things. It's to earn, for sure, but it's also to invest in yourself. You want to earn, but you also want to learn. This is the foundation of your craft. The thing that's also very important is that you have to go work for the best people you can. The people who work for good bosses who care about your self-interest and are going to teach you, that's the biggest differentiator I see over time.
Jody Kantor is a New York Times bestselling author and Times correspondent. Her new book, How to Start, is out April 21st. Jody, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
In New York, I'm Sabri Ben-Achour with the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.